Oh,
Something out of nothing. The culture grew from breaks. B-boys with fat laces helping DJs carry crates. 12 inches with the name covered up, 45 black and tape. Needle dropping on the get down part on the one, never late. Moonwalk look like skates, time is infinite like the 8. Built to destroy the devil's world, God body at the gate. In God we trust, the dollars we lust, catching crumbs off the cake. Now we bop to a beat on in Northern State. It was 88, we was victims of a scheme. It was all just a dream, but now my homie is a fiend. We live for the culture, but we kill for the cream. Trying to make the street light up, stay on your toes, Billie Jean.
now how can you justify what you've taken culturally? You love to lie, to hide the truth. Do you really think you're me? Really think you're me? Think you're me? Think you're me?
It's like hip to the hibbit, flow liquid like exhibit. It'll create the culture with every breath as I live it. They try to prohibit, but I'm the master to pivot. No gimmicks on point like a digit. I'm like Malcolm, ready to rock it. Get your hand out my pocket. Everybody the gatekeeper, but y'all forgot to lock it. Swear by culture freedom, I got more vice than Tubbs and Crockett. Now my boy Elroy, out to space like space's rockets. Truth be told, we was crushed from the cold. Niggas getting high off the dust from Sugar Hill. Now the truth gets sold with strippers on the pole. Delight, just with rappers for the thrill. Get the rush from off one pill when Flash was on the wheels. Singing white lines with my brothers and folding bills. Slinging white dimes when Uncle Joe wrote that bill. Around 94, fucking around with Hillary and Bill.
How can you justify what you've taken culturally? You love to lie, to hide the truth. Do you really think you're me? Think you're me? Think you're me? Think you're me?
It was go and tell. Now y'all go and tell. Hop on the gram, look, show and tell. No ethics and no codes, just cut the pie a la mode. Spinning red whites now light the block like a strobe. Behold, the pale horse that he rode. Here to bring death with guns to unload. Conspiracy to conspire, there's a theory on the wire. When Cohen is a priest whose doctrine is the liar. Here to rob the hood, I keep it tucked like the friar. Grew into a man following rappers I admire. No more b-boys in the cypher, no more DJs catching breaks. And everybody in the trap with 45s wrapped in tape. The culture has been raped, pimped out, and straight flooded. Just like the Bronx in the 70s, everything gutted. Trusted, rusted, busted and disgusted. We should've shut it down when Chuck said not to trust it.
How can you justify what you've taken culturally? You love to lie, to hide the truth. Do you really think you're me? Really think you're me? Really think you're me? Think you're, oh yeah. Think that you can do it, I think that you can do it, I do. You think that you can do it, I do. You think that you can do it, I do. Tell me, do you think you're me? Tell me, do you think you're me? You know you ain't me.
Yes, you know what it is. It's your boy Hakeem Green, Channel Live and Direct. BDP all day, every day. All we do is spark Madism over here on IZM Sports. We got it going on. We got a very special show lined up for you, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 158. Yeah. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
What's up, Hot? What's up,
Good.
Wes?
What's good? I know. I think Wes is focused on the road right now. Good for you, Wes. Make sure you.
Yep.
Make sure you. What up, Cliff? What's up, Coach?
What up? What up,
What up,
fellas?
Cliff?
Okay, we got one more person. Where's Kai at? Oh, Kai popped out. Yeah, man. So we got a special show today. Episode 158. And just to give you guys a heads up, over the summer, I got to build with a wonderful organization heading up the HBCU Classic at MetLife Stadium this weekend, also known as Giant Stadium. The Classic has been going on for a while now. Black college at its best, Black college sports at its best. And today on the show, we have Albert Williams, who's President CEO of Sports 1105. He's the producer of the Toyota HBCUNY Classic, presented by Walmart. A natural entrepreneur, Albert Williams thrived during the IT boom, rising the North American director for Regus Group. Leveraging this sharp business sense, he boldly ventured into transportation, founding Best Deal Car Service, a successful livery company catering to both executives and those needing non-medical transport. But Albert's passion extends far beyond the boardroom. He recognized the historically Black colleges, universities, HBCUs' vital role and established Sports 1105 LLC as his president, CEO, and driving force behind the HBCU New York Classic. He created a premier sporting event. This annual HBCU football game held at a majestic NFL stadium attracts over 50,000 attendees celebrating Black culture, academic excellence, and the unifying power of athletics. Albert, a true leader and philanthropist, is a thought leader and investor in HBCUs. His dedication is evidenced by his role as founder, chairman, and CEO of the HBCU Inspire Foundation. The organization embodies the unwavering commitment to supporting and uplifting these vital institutions. Albert Williams' story is one of vision, business savvy, and a deep dedication to social responsibility, inspiring all who encounter him. And with that said, I want to bring the brother on, Brother Albert Williams. Salute, God.
King, pleasure to have you, man. I was reading that. I was listening to that. I'm like, whoa, who's he talking about?
Who's that dude?
Yeah, exactly, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you on here over at Madison Sports. Just to give you some context, my good brother Wes Henderson is an old childhood friend, as is Cliff and Coach E. And during the pandemic, we started talking about sports over the phone, and Wes was like, yo, we should just go online and do a show. So we created Madison Sports to do just that. It's a place where friends and family can hop on and just talk about sports. Black college football is very important to us over here at Madison Sports, of course, with Dion making his dive into coaching with Jackson State and then moving on. The conversation really got built up. So just tell us how you got involved in doing this HBCU Classic, which, of course, is so important to Black sports.
Sure. I mean, like you initially said, first of all, fellows, pleasure, and thank you guys for having me. So, like you said, I'm a natural entrepreneur. It came to me initially as an investment, and then it ended up taking over the company, and it's now a passion, right? So for me, I'm a product of the New York City school system. When I went to college fairs, when college fairs came to us, recruiters came to us, no one ever came to me and told me that there's an option as an HBCU. I didn't know what that was. Coming out of college, probably 2-3 years out of college, someone mentions, hey, what about this HBCU? I'm like, HBCU? I bank with Citibank. Like, what are you talking about? And I thought they were literally talking about the bank, right? The bank, right? And I'm like, I had to, but so for me, it's a thing now where, for me, my goal is to educate kids on what I was never told, right? What I was never taught. So bringing this to the Northeast gives kids an opportunity to experience something else, right? The South, you got all your HBCUs are south of Lincoln, PA. So bringing it into the Northeast gives an opportunity for the young kids, right, to experience it. But it also brings the alumni back to really feel what they've been missing. If you can't make it out to a homecoming, come out to MetLife Stadium, because that's the largest homecoming, right? Mm-hmm. So now you have multiple schools. You mentioned Jackson State. We have a big presence of FAMU in our tailgate. So you have multiple schools showing up, setting up their tailgate, watching it, having a good time in the parking lot at the Yard Fest, and then come on into the game and enjoy the game.
Now, the HBCU Classic, you guys have been producing for the last 3 years, right?
Yeah, this is our third year. Mm-hmm.
Third year, but it has a history prior to 3 years ago, correct?
Yeah, this was initially, I know it was called, this is the Urban League Classic. Urban League stopped doing it about 9 years ago, maybe 10 years ago now. And yep.
Yeah, because I remember as a kid going to those games, and as a young adult going to those games. But I know it had been like disappeared for a while, so it was good to see it come back because, like you said, exposing young people to the college experience, through athletics is so effective and it's much needed, considering how they're getting rid of DEI and they're getting rid of Black and brown college students off these major campuses. Using athletics in this way is a great way to pull them in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a question. Since it took a break, like Hawk mentioned, were you integral part of getting it restarted? And another follow-up question is, how are the schools chosen to participate each year in the actual game?
Sure. So for your initial question, it came to me as an investment. So for me, it wasn't even a thing of getting it started. These guys came to me. They said, "Hey, you're going to lend us some money.
Okay.
We're going to give you back interest, better interest than HSCU or the bank, right? Better interest in the bank, right?" So obviously, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, you look at that, and then it came to the point where I realized that this thing has legs with the attendance, first year attendance, 36,000 out the gate first year. Looking at it, it has legs. Then I started adding different components to it, right? You got to have your college fare, right? Because for me, like I said, it wasn't exposed to me during college. So last year we added the college fare component, and we do that. We do it in New York. We do two, one in New York, one in New Jersey. Last year in New York at BMCC, we had probably 2,300 attendees. 986 kids got into college on the spot with over $300,000 in scholarships awarded.
So, yeah.
All right. So for me, mission accomplished, right? If we don't do it again, mission accomplished. But why stop there when you could continue to do college fairs, continue to educate the kids and give them an opportunity? To your second question, Cliff, how are the schools chosen? You guys know this, but your listening audience may not know this unless they're massive sports fans. Teams. They know some teams have their schedule posted for the next 3 years. They know who they're playing for the next 3-4 years. Just like the NFL. So schools are basically chosen based on availability. If that answers your question.
Yeah.
I got a question too. Wasn't it called the Whitney M. Young Classic back in the day?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Whitney M. Young Classic.
It was Grambling, right? And
was it always
Grambling? Was it always Grambling?
Grambling Morgan. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. It's going to be good to see Howard participate in this, especially since Howard's name comes up in a lot of political discourse. Being that Kamala is running for president and being vice president, former alum of Howard. I don't know how much more celebrity that's going to bring to the game this week. Especially after the real game going at 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir. But yeah, Howard. We had Howard Morehouse year 1, a great attendance, and we had scheduled to have them back year 3 because based on availability. So we have Howard this year, Howard Morehouse this year, Howard Morehouse next year, and we're looking at the teams for 26.
Okay.
Got you. Yeah. So, and we talked about, we mentioned Dion a little earlier. And I guess, you were doing the classic while he was still at Jackson State. Did you guys feel the reverberation of his presence and, again, his loss?
Colorado? Yeah, I would say, yeah, because, what he's done, like it jumpstarts, it kind of lit fire to what we've done. Like, him doing what he's done in HBCUs, bringing that light to HBCUs, we kind of got a spark from him, right? So with Dion in 2022, what he was doing at Jackson State, every other article was Dion. Every other sports article, you heard his name every day in the news. So, for whatever reason, you heard his name in the news. So it was good. It was definitely good.
Yeah, we had a huge, I don't want to call it a debate, but an in-depth discussion about what his presence meant to Black college sports overall, especially football, and then with him leaving, would that negatively, affect the growth of the sport? So, how do you see that in terms of Black college sports? Because they're definitely attacking Black and brown people academically in terms of academic admittance, athletes are always going to have preference because of the financial value they bring to these institutions. But I would assume that, Black college athletes are now more seriously looking at Black colleges going forward.
Yeah, and I would tend to agree with you there. And also for us, right, for me, right, I want to make sure that we involve education in part of it, right? So we do a lot of educational components, right? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to have, how many Michael Jordans are you going to have, right? So we want to make sure that we have that education part of it, knowing that there's an opportunity. Get out there, know that you have an opportunity to go to a school where everyone looks like you. Some people are more comfortable in that environment, right? So during our first year, I do what's called an impact award. And during our first year, I met this young man who had no intention of going to college, right? If he was going to go to college, it would be local. His uncle creates our impact awards by hand, and they drove down from Baltimore that morning to drop off the impact awards. Picture these 3 or 4 guys running with these big bags coming into MetLife Stadium at full speed ahead. It's not a good look, all right? So they were sweating, like, security's like, them? I'm like, yeah, they're with me. Take it easy, they're with me. We get the guy inside, we bring the young man inside, we sit down, get him some water. He starts to speak with our educational consultant. And where are you going to college, young man? I don't think I'm gonna go to college. I don't think I'm gonna go outside of school. Well, have your mom call her. She asked him to have his mother call her. A couple of weeks later, unbeknownst to me, I found this out last year. Young man calls her with his mother. And today, fast forward today, he's a junior at Morehouse.
Nice.
Right? I'm sorry, sophomore at Morehouse. Right? He's a sophomore at Morehouse. And that's, again, that goes back to a part of it. So we want to build in education. He's not an athlete, right? He runs track, but he's not on the track team. But for him, it's just strictly education that he decided to go to Morehouse because he attended the Classic, right? Right.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's the type of important outreach, directly, where we can help uplift the next generation by just exposing them. In football is a great way. I played high school football. They'll tell you I was like all American. I was.
Yeah.
Just
D5. All American D5. Honorable mention, right?
Yeah. So, fellas, you got any questions pertaining to the Classic? Before we move on to some other things. Hopefully, Mr. Williams, you can hang on with us and we can talk about. The NFL season just started. We got we always got basketball to talk about, and we'll get into that. Hopefully, maybe we'll see. But anything else in terms of college football, gentlemen? The Classic.
Yes, Mr. Williams. I know this year the D9 they're doing a step off or a stroll.
Yes.
You're kind of integrating aspects of the college, HBCU college experience. As well as, you always have had the band show. How are you, trying to incorporate other aspects to, really bring people into the game? A lot of people go to the game, they tailgate to halftime, run in halftime, to watch the bands, then they back out to the tailgate. How are you, incorporating other elements to keep people engaged for them to have that full experience of what an HBCU game is actually like?
But just like exactly what you said, Coach, we're adding different elements, trying to get more butts in the seats, more bodies in the building. Because at the end of the day, you guys know how many HBCU games are shown on TV every weekend compared to the PWIs, right? And I'm not against the tailgate. I'm not against the tailgate. Let me put that out there. Cliff, I'm not against the tailgate. You got that serious look on.
About to say, they had a party, yo. Come on now.
Yeah, right.
That tailgate life.
Well, I can tell, all right. but in all seriousness, right? So we're not against the tailgate, but does the tailgate help spread the greatness of HBCUs? The answer is absolutely not. Right? Does a sponsor care about the tailgate? They do, because you get to see their activations. But how do we get more HBCU games on TV, right? Like, I'm proud to be partners with CNBC at NBC Universal Peacock, right? So our game is broadcast live on CNBC, but also streamed on Peacock, right? But there's no but, so let's stop right there, and I'm proud of that. We want to make sure that we move this game from CNBC to NBC.
Right.
Let's talk the difference between CNBC, NBC, and CNBC. NBC is broadcast TV. Everybody have it. Free. Gratis. Free. Right? Where CNBC, it's a subscription base, right? So ideally, if you want to spread the word about something, you got to put it on those, 2, 3, 4, 7, 11, right? Those broadcast channels.
Mhm.
And when you do that, you got to have butts in the seats so that the networks take you serious, right? Going back to Hakeem, you mentioned Dion, right? Nobody was talking about Jackson State. Nobody was talking about HBCUs.
No.
Now every weekend Dion played. You had the pleasure to watch Dion TV.
Right.
Yeah, well, going forward, that might change up a little bit after the last couple performances, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But to your point,
But I mean at Jackson State though, right? Every weekend he played at Jackson State. That game was a national TV, right?
Yeah.
How many games were on national TV last week? And, football season just opened, so you had at least 50 games last weekend. How many of them hit national TV? Now let's look at the overall. On an annual basis, you got the Bayou Celebration Bowl, MEAC SPAC Challenge, HBCU Classic. You got 4 games on national TV. 4 games. Right?
Yeah.
There's probably 4 games going on any given night, any given Saturday, any given Sunday afternoon, right?
yeah,
Right?
In every time slot.
In every time slot, right?
In every
So
time
now-
slot.
Correct. So now ideally we want to get, Coach Dr. E, because as an educator, I see where you're going with it, but ideally we want to make sure that we get those folks in there because we can't spread the word if you can't see it, right? You want to see it. So I want people to come out, experience the entire thing, right? Experience the tailgate, experience the game, come inside, take part in the activations, have some fun. It's a big family reunion, right? And people may take this the wrong way. I'm not saying, again, I'm not against the tailgate, Cliff. I'm just not against the tailgate. I'm not against the tailgate. But if we want to party, we might as well go to Central Park.
Right.
yeah.
Going to the tailgate, unless I'm missing something, right? And I went to a PWI, so maybe I'm missing something, right? And I know I'm not, right? But what I'm saying is we have to get people inside the stadium. Excuse me, guys. We have to get people inside the stadium to spread the word. Because once the network starts seeing it, the network's going to say, well, wait a minute, there's an interest here. Let's get on Albany State. Like last year we played Albany State. Honestly, you ever heard of Albany State?
No. Well, I have, but
but not like not athletically, not football wise.
Correct. Albany State went on to win their division, right? Right. Albany State's playing in the Classic the week after the 21st in Rochester. So that gave them an opportunity. They came to New York, they played in the Classic in New York, and now they're back in New York, upstate New York, playing in another Classic.
One of the things, I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, and we do a tailgate every year. And what we've decided to do is actually, at the start of the game, we shut our tailgate down to force everyone inside. And we don't start it back up until after halftime. People can come back then because we want people inside for the game because we understand the importance of when the camera is on that crowd, that people are there, and we want them inside. And
eventually, I want you to push it to the third quarter, push the tailgate.
Well, it essentially is the third quarter, yes.
Third quarter, yeah. Well, no, I mean the end of the third.
Yeah.
Right. So
well, that's asking a lot, but we moving in that direction.
We got to start somewhere. Cliff will back me up on this.
Well,
right?
Well, it's all start where you started coaching. Like, what other type of activities you may be trying to offer, or events during halftime or things like that that'll get people in the stadium. You know what I'm saying? Or if you have events prior to kickoff too. I mean, hot events, a show before kickoff, something like that. But yeah.
This year we're doing a post game performance this year.
Okay.
And I'm gonna snatch your idea. We may do a pregame performance, but we don't want people to come in and leave the stadium. So this year, what we've added in this year, we're doing a raffle every quarter. We're doing a raffle, right? Nice. So you're gonna get tickets first and second quarter. you're going to get tickets for a Jets or Giants game, right? It only makes sense.
I'm not
right?
sure if that's going to pull people in though. Jets and Giants.
It's still
That's-
free tickets, yo.
Hopefully their opponents are
It's
folks,
still
right?
free tickets.
Third quarter, we're doing a gift certificate from the food provider, right? Delaware North, right? The folks who provide the food in the city, right? And then fourth quarter, right? Because most people leave third quarter, we're going to give you a suite for next year's game.
Nice.
Nice.
Suite holds 24 people. You find the guy that won the guy or the gal that won the food. You guys get together. Boom, 12 and 12. Yeah, I got the suite. You buy the food.
Yeah,
that's just ways.
That's
That's
great
just ways to
idea.
get people in the stadium, right? One of our sponsors is we're going to do a field goal kick, right? From the I want to say it's the 20. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to do from the 20. Going to pick two folks in the audience that we hope could make the field. The random folks, as we see walk and say, "You look athletic." We can't pick you, Hakeem, because we know that you played, right? You play D5.
Bad knee.
Okay, yeah.
His bad knees, he's good. You good.
Yeah, so we'll get some folks in there to kick a field goal, and the winner, two folks, hopefully they both make it. And the sponsor, Mr. Beast Burgers, is giving up $10,000 for that.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
Right? And we're not kicking that field goal nowhere near early, right? Because we want you to stay in the stadium, right?
That's
We're gonna pick you. We're gonna pick you from the first quarter,
Right.
so you ain't leaving until the third.
Right.
Right, when we kick that field goal. So ideas like that, and for me, as a businessman, I think outside the box, right? And you got to think outside the box. You got to be different, all right? So different is good. So we kind of think outside the box, try and do different things, and you throw it up against the wall and you see if it sticks, and if it sticks, then you follow on it and you build on it. If it doesn't work, you got to cut it loose, right? It's like fire slow, hire fast, right? You got to find the right mix, right?
Yep.
Right? In terms of other events, we got a step show. We do a step show Friday night. We got the pep rally Friday afternoon at the mall, at the American Dream Mall, right next to the stadium. So again, exposing people to HBCUs, right? So we're bringing you to the largest mall, probably in Jersey, right? Maybe in the Northeast, right? Right. And we're gonna bring you there. We're gonna bring the bands in, and we're just gonna have the bands just take over the mall. We did it last year. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Great.
Right?
Great.
So stuff like that, to answer your question, Cliff, for that and Dr. E. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
That's what we are doing.
Some phenomenal strategies. The raffles, the contests, that level of engagement definitely will keep behinds in seats. But nothing keeps behinds in seats at a football game besides a great football game. So in terms of Morehouse versus Howard, I don't know if you can pick a winner, but what do you think of the two schools and how they match up? Are you that invested?
I'm not. I try to remain neutral for obvious reasons, right? You got to remain neutral, but it's interesting. I mean, you got to look at Morehouse has a new coach, Harris Mathis, coming in from the NFL, right? A retired NFL player, and then you got Howard's coach, Miak's back. They went to the finals this year, right? So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting game. I think Howard's 1-1, Morehouse is 2-0 right now, but it's New York, it's MetLife Stadium. Kids are going to be excited, and we can't take football out of a football game, but you guys come on down to media day, right? You guys are more than welcome. You reach out and we'll get you access to media. The look on the kid's face when they walk into an NFL stadium.
Right? Those kids. I was that kid.
Exactly. Yeah. All right.
Nothing like it.
Nothing like it, man. Nothing like it. So
dreams right there in front of you.
You look at adults' faces when they walk into a stadium.
correct. Exactly.
Right? Your face too.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll strive both. It'll give them that push to, I want to win. Like Howard, I want to win at this. I want to win at MetLife. Morehouse, I want to win at MetLife, right? And one of the things we do too is we make sure we paint the fields are neutral end zones, right? MetLife has its neutral end zone, so we actually paint the field to represent. So when you turn that TV on and you're flicking through the channels, you look at the end zone, you're going to see Morehouse in one end zone. You're going to see Howard in the other end zone. We want to bring that attention to detail to our games, right? And I'm not sure if everyone else does it, but we do it, and that's just a part of something that I say we have to do, right? It may cost a little bit more, but we have to do it, and that's why you want to get butts in the seats. You want to get people outside of the parking lot. Nothing against the park, against the tailgate. You want to get people. You want to get people engaged inside the stadium, and again, some people don't even watch the game. They're just hanging out, just kind of fellowshipping, right? Catching up with friends, catching up with old alumni, catching up with old frat, also old sorors, right? So it's a good time, a real good time.
I mean, I want to thank you before we go too far. We were able to do a ticket giveaway at 24 hours apiece this past summer.
Yeah.
And it went over tremendously. As soon as I announced it, the reaction from the crowd was like amazing. And then we did a Black History pop quiz, and we were able to distribute the tickets that way. And it went over very, very well. The young folks that got tickets were happy they got them. So
Good.
People looking forward to the game for sure.
No, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to be of service.
Yeah, man. That was a great look for us. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Guys, anything else before we? Oh, you know what? I did want to say, I saw an old clip, speaking of Jackson State, of Walter Payton. This was the year he graduated. I guess they did some type of exhibition game between whatever team won the Super Bowl prior and the best players from college, right? And Walter Payton was putting it on jokers, something terrible, right? And it just makes us think that when it comes to, Black college football, how many professional football players came from Black colleges? So in terms of the talent being there, when you're showcasing a Howard University and a Morehouse, who's to say you're not looking at the next greatest tailback, the next greatest receiver, the next Doug Williams, the next.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Michael Strahan.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
Right there, Giant Stadium.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, fellas.
No, that's it.
Oh, this was nice. This was good. Really,
Yep.
really powerful.
We gonna move the conversation, but you're welcome to stay on, and we talk about college football, pro football, and I'm sure somebody will bring up the GOAT, even if it's in disrespect. At some point, anyway, brothers, Colorado, what we doing?
They're not good.
Their line is better. Their offensive line is better. Their D line is better. But like Coach said, they're not good. Shador's all right. Travis Hunter's a beast, but as a team, not good.
I don't know how you last name could be Sanders and you can't run fast.
You guys are brutal.
That's on his mama's side.
Yeah. No, they're not good right now. I mean, Dion has he has some coaching flaws this past week. I mean, things happening over and over again. You got to do something a little different, and I just don't see him making too many adjustments. That's the biggest thing.
Well, they did. They made a game of it. Well, they didn't make a game of it, but they played a lot better second half than the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can, because they just have slow starts. Even the first game of the season against that FBS squad, they just have slow starts, and their defense gets exposed quickly. And they were able to recover and play a better second half, but
yeah. I actually didn't get a chance to see the game. My cable provider is beefing with the network, so I'm not able to see a whole lot. But I just was disappointed. I know linebacker from Nebraska was talking a lot of smack prior to the game, and I was hoping that Colorado could prove him wrong, but didn't pan out that way. Man. So who are we looking on the college football scene? Who are we looking out for? You said Florida State's already
Oh, they
Yeah,
trash.
Yeah,
they're
Florida
done.
They
State
trash.
Put up huge
Texas
numbers.
will be good. Texas will be is definitely one of the best teams. Ohio State's one of the best teams.
I think
Uh,
Georgia is it now. Georgia's taking
Georgia, yeah.
that Alabama spot, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Clemson is a wrap too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're talking about getting Dabo out of there.
Yeah,
Wow.
he hasn't adjusted to the transfer portal. He refuses to dive into it like everyone else.
I mean,
Yeah.
really, is there a way to master it, or is it everybody's flukish right now because it's so new, so early? Like,
Well,
It's college free agency.
yes.
And depending on your university, your donors, and how deep your pockets are behind you, it gives you that much flexibility. And who knows? I mean, that South Carolina money can't be too long, So
Yeah.
Dabo can't compete with the Texases as far as the donors and the money, I'm sure. So I'm
Well,
sure
I
that's
don't, I
why it's
don't know if
frustrating.
that. You're right. I don't think it's a. I think there's money in the old way of getting kids money. Probably not with the NIL, but I also think it's just not wanting to be a salesman in that way of older kids. Who are really just coming for a check. They're not looking for development. They're looking for the best financial situation for them. And some coaches just don't want to be bothered with that. And it's understandable. I think that's one of the reasons Saban said, "I'm done."
probably the reason, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why on the basketball side, Krzyzewski, got out. It's completely different
Yeah.
when
Is it something?
when you could cheat and the playing field wasn't as level. Now it's a little different.
Yeah, we got to look at the landscape of sport, not just college football or basketball, but all of these sports, particularly with the NIL, because now you're talking about these fringe superstars that may go sit behind somebody back in the day at Alabama. Now they're going to a school being top dog, getting paid. You know what I'm saying? So these teams and how all these teams are constructed nowadays are different, way different. And
Yeah.
and I'm sure a lot of those kids that Dabo used to get ain't coming close to getting them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like it's just weird. Like they have to. It's a good thing because anybody can win now. Anybody could put something together in a lightning the bottle. But in terms of building tradition and building history and building legacy and like what the things that college football is built on, that's gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know Wes might want to say something.
No, that's dead. You're right. It's dead. That's done.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the realignment of the conferences. I mean, you don't know where anyone is. You don't have any true rivalries anymore. Although, this is one of the rivalry weekends where the Colorado plays the Colorado States and the Oregon plays the Oregon States and the Washington plays Washington States. But besides that in-state or you don't have your old school rivalries like anymore because all the conferences are jumbled.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the best game, the biggest rivalry was the third Saturday of the year was Florida State Miami. That's what it was.
Yes. Yes.
That was what I grew up on. Notre Dame played was it USC and Notre Dame? That was another one.
USC Notre Dame. Yeah.
Yeah, that's still a game. That's the last game of the season this year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But you saw Notre Dame got popped.
What was it? Northern Illinois?
Yeah, Northern Illinois. Everybody was talking about how easy their schedule was.
The week before?
Huh?
Who Notre Dame beat somebody big the week before?
They went into Texas A&M and beat them. And that's why everybody was talking about how, good they were, how easy of a schedule they have, and they're a cinch for the playoffs. And they go home the next week and lose to Northern Illinois.
I think we're going to see a lot of that throughout the year.
You will.
Yeah.
Well, to that point, Hawk, already 7 ranked teams have already lost to unranked teams in the second week of the season. That's never happened. That's the most. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot of that, and that's to the point of NIL. Again, some of these superstars are going to these smaller schools, and they got a shot.
Yo,
And
bro,
you also had the kids who might be second or third string at Alabama, and now can go to these schools that they kind of rebuffed early on in their recruiting and get money and shine.
Exactly.
And,
bro, this could be a huge opportunity for black colleges right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Because people gonna follow talent, and just like with basketball, if I can see you online, I can see your YouTube. If I can see your athleticism, I can see all that stuff shine through. And you're like, well, I'm gonna go play for Howard or Morehouse or Jackson State or Grambling or whatever.
Yeah.
The eyeballs is gonna follow you.
That's right.
And the money's gonna follow the eyeballs.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a really huge opportunity for this classic this weekend. I wish the brother Albert could have stayed, because I'm sure he would chime in on this. But it's gonna be a turning point for black college sports.
Yeah, and I think I think just with the NIL and where admissions policies have gone, period, with colleges really will help HBCUs. The numbers are starting to come out at the PWIs that minority admissions have gone down tremendously for Black and brown people.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity for HBCUs to take advantage. Howard, on the basketball front, Howard's coach is trying to negotiate a private equity firm buying a stake into the program. They would say put up $100 million, which will go to refurbishing their gym as well as NIL collective. Now they still trying to figure out from a legality standpoint if that's even possible, but it's thinking outside of the box and making HBCUs viable. And now a lot of the HBCUs actually are in PWI conferences as well. Like North Carolina A&T, Hampton. They're no longer in the just traditional Black college conferences like the MEAC and the SWAC. They're starting to leave and do well in the PWI conferences.
Wow, that's great. Right fast. Hey, JTXP, got to shout you out. Thanks for staying locked in. Basketball Heads is on here as well. Big shout out to you. Robert Swinny Jr. always joins in. Shout out to Rob and everybody else checking in. Gilacasa, my Nork Heads is in the building. Osolo is watching as well. Shout out to you guys. Nork in the building. Go Bricks.
Brick City.
Man. Yeah. So, NFL.
First coach's team off to a good start. I mean, you trying to show your early dominance without McCaffrey and on night one.
Yeah, I thought they looked really good. It killed me in fantasy because I have McCaffrey, and they waited till the last minute, so I couldn't make the switch. Wow. But I liked it, and Ayuk really didn't. He was only targeted maybe 5 times. They trying to,
who's the young boy they got
slowly into the offense. Debo was good.
Who's the young boy they got?
The running back.
Morgan.
No, the receiver. Didn't they have a rookie receiver that had like 100 some odd yards? Yesterday, or maybe I'm confusing it.
No.
Because it wasn't Ayuk. It wasn't Debo. It was some young kid that kind of blew up yesterday.
I mean, the running back had a great game.
It was the running back. How many yards did he rush for?
Over 145, 147, I think.
I got it mixed up. That's what it was.
It was like the third most in to start a career in 49er history, something like that. But yeah, he balled out, yo.
Yeah,
but he looks good. It wasn't like it was gaping holes, and he was trucking people, but he looked polished, yo. He looked like that could be sustainable. So y'all may not have any fall off because McCaffrey, that hammy is legit. That's a problem, but y'all look like y'all probably can rest him a couple weeks and have no little fall off.
Yeah, I'm hoping that is the case. And remember, the young receiver Purcell is still out because he got shot a couple weeks ago. So
it's amazing he got shot through the chest, and he's on the sideline right now to talk about I feel like I can play.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I like what we have moving forward. Fred Warner is still a beast out there. Love Fred Warner and what he does. So
well, there wasn't a lot of
we lost Cliff there.
You lost Cliff. Yeah, I missed a lot of your game yesterday, last night, but I heard y'all beat the Jets pretty good.
Yeah, I was just happy. Rodgers looked bad.
Did he?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say he looked bad, but he only threw for like 160 something yards.
They pulled him or something.
Yeah, interception. Tyrod Taylor came in and did a little something. Had a much higher quarterback rating.
Okay.
But Rodgers is. I think Rodgers is washed, to be honest.
Well, you can't really discredit your defense, though, Coach. And the fact that you scored on 8 straight drives, but you guys just owned the ball. Once you got the ball, you just owned it. I mean, he never got in the rhythm, and then he only threw the ball to 3 different receivers.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think he's washed. I think he should play a little bit better as the season goes on, but y'all defense is sick, man. Y'all ain't giving up too much regardless.
Yeah.
The reason why Rodgers is because his ego won't allow him to actually do the things that it takes to be a winning quarterback, not just a highlight reel, but a winning quarterback. That's what happened toward the end. His ego.
Yeah.
Ego.
Yep.
Yeah, he's always been pretty egotistical, though.
Yeah.
But my man Brock Purdy is out there looking great.
To build chemistry with those receivers, you don't want to you're supposed to get with them early. That's what he did last year, right? Before the season started, he should have been with the receivers somewhere on an island, somewhere recluse, somewhere, just building chemistry. He was like, "Nah, I'm just going to show up," and you just showed up and popped your Achilles, right? So now this year, it's still that same energy. That's like, you can't just sling your way out of shit sometimes. It's like Purdy, on the other hand, is hard working, put that work in, getting guys, building chemistry. I know who's who. No, he might not be as talented as Aaron Rodgers, but he doesn't need to be.
Yeah, and it seems like the guys like him. They like Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and that says a lot, how things go in the huddle. Definitely says a lot.
Yeah, man.
Well, they said his superpower is the way his speed at processing, defenses and making the right decision. So I mean, if you've seen that from a young cat that basically went from third string to starter and no fall off. I mean, he's ascending. He's a baller, yo. He's a baller.
Shanahan just having a system that allows you to be successful, doesn't really put too much on you, allows you to develop and grow at your own pace, and then boom, here we are. I know Wes is not feeling that though.
No, you know what? I got a horrible stomach ache, man.
Oh wow.
So I'm just kind of taking it all in. I got some stuff to share, but I mean, San Fran looked good. I didn't see the game, so I can't really comment on. I saw the stats. I mean, I can't really say that was the game, so I don't think it was indicative of what happened because they look like the running game dominated pretty much, and they scored like on every drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I read anyway.
Yeah. And I was surprised by that. I thought it was going to be a passing game once I saw McCaffrey was out, but it wasn't. Like they stuck to their game plan.
Yeah, well, Buddy was trucking. Besides you finding holes and making big runs, he was also trucking folks too. So
Yeah.
they didn't have a need. It looked like there was no need to change or adjust that game plan at all.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing just fine, and the Jets couldn't get him off the field once after that second drive. I mean, they just drove the ball, owned the ball.
So what about that Jet defense that was supposed to be so stout? That's all I was saying. Because me and Cliff was talking about Jets, Aaron Rodgers. I expressed my feelings to him, and he was like, "Yo, but I'm telling you, it's the defense. Watch the defense. They got one of the best defenses." And I'm like, "Okay."
They were supposed to have one of them.
You got to beat them. You got to beat San Fran.
Yeah.
Well, teams like them, you can't.
We got to remember also that's a pseudo rival game for San Fran. Salah was from there, so they got to send a message. So
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that was kind of that message game. We're gonna show you that it was my system, not yours.
And we can't get all hype and caught up in Aaron Rodgers and all that. It's still the 49ers against the lowly Jets, okay? You know what I'm saying? 49ers just in the Super Bowl.
Nah, if it was the 49ers against the lowly Jets, that would be one thing. But people's amping me up that the Jets is different.
Well, they may be. They ain't gonna be different game one.
I mean, I did expect more from the Jets.
I did too.
But
more, right. Not to win.
Yeah. More. I didn't think they would win, but I did expect more.
Yeah.
And the only thing I expected from the Jets was they had some hot new uniforms.
Speaking of hot new uniforms of the whack ass team, the New York Giants.
Oh my God!
Wow!
What can we say about Daniel Jones, gentlemen?
Trash. Just straight trash.
All right, we got two quarterbacks in New York that are just stealing money. I mean, it's still, jury's still out on Aaron Rodgers because maybe he will do more. But these jokers stealing money out here, and it's bad.
Well,
Daniel Jones he's off.
They should have franchised Daniel Jones. Actually, they should have cut the dude, but franchised Daniel Jones. They should have gave Saquon Barkley that bag.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's what they should have did.
They're regretting that right now. You know that.
Yep.
Saquon not regretting it.
Not at all.
3 touchdowns. How many yards he rushed for?
120.
Over 100. Yeah. I mean, he dominated.
But the thing about it, everybody. I mean, I think I'm good, happy for Saquon, but Eagles are not. The running back last year, Swift, had a good season early. The running back before that, Sanders, had a good season. It's not them. And I like Jalen Hurts, but I'm telling you, he's a one-read quarterback. I'm telling you, keep saying it. And as soon as you put the pressure on him, the only difference is he can run this year. Last year he couldn't run because his legs were hurt. But now he can run read and tuck it and go. But that's the real problem the Eagles have. So and Sirianni has been exposed already. So I'm just gonna wait. I can't get hype on them yet either.
Well, I think Sirianni is done after this year. Because there doesn't seem to be any fluidity or consistency to their offense. I don't see anybody who's really comfortable. People are making great plays, but no one looks comfortable in their offense.
This is his third offensive coordinator and his third defensive coordinator in 4 years coaching.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just saying. So, it's just like, I'll pump the brakes on them. But, I mean, it's week 1 anyway, so for most of it is, I don't really think the only team that people are really shocked that lost based on Vegas was the Cincinnati Bengals. You know, um, I think that was the biggest upset of the week. New England beating them at home, but it's not really a surprise because they lost a wide receiver and a running back.
Yeah,
So
but I mean, it still is
Suit up.
still is New England. New England shouldn't beat
Who
anybody.
Chase suit up, but he I guess apparently he also had a stomach issue.
yeah,
But they put him on a pitch count too, so he played minimal. But what type of shape is he in? And
Right.
I'm just hoping CD could stay healthy. Not overdoing it because these guys can't be in football shape yet.
nah.
Yeah, that's the thing with these kind of holdouts. These guys. You're not getting the reps. You're not getting the reps. And football is one of those sports you need the reps.
That's true.
Dallas looked very good though.
Yeah, they did. I mean, Dak nor Zeke played particularly well, but they moved the ball. The defense played stout. The special teams played stout. So
yeah, defense definitely looks good.
That kicker is sick.
Aubrey.
He was about to kick a 71-yarder. He made a 66. He made a 66-yarder.
That's going to be key for them down the road.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a weapon.
Yes, it is.
He is. Dak don't have to do as much.
66 yards.
This dude within 70 yards. He's good.
I don't think Dak has to do anything from here on out. He got the contract.
Yeah, right.
Dak is good.
Nah, he gotta show and prove, bro. But he looked good. I mean, it was all right. First game of the season.
Yeah.
And they looked like players that haven't played. Their offense looked exactly like players that have not played in the preseason. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah. Though I was nervous about the new tackle, but he helped. Myles Garrett was put in check. For the most part, he had one sack, but he didn't really do anything.
He played really well.
Blocks at him. They was hitting him with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now that we've moved to the Cleveland side of things.
Oh God. Yeesh.
Your man need a massage.
The real talk though, his pops. I heard his pops and his best friend died in the last 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I'm not using that as the whole excuse, but I will give that man that. Cause yeah. So it pops and your best friend in a 2 week span. That's kind of tight.
That's hard.
That's a tough one.
But with all that being said, the allegations that are on him has nothing to do with any of that.
Oh nah. I think what it really boils down to is two different philosophies. You got the coach of Stefanski. Yeah, he wants to coach, the play action and run, and Deshaun is a spread quarterback, and so it's kind of like they trying to do something down the middle, and it's just not gonna work. You got to go one way or the other, period. And when you sign Deshaun Watson to guarantee money, you got to really do what he can do.
Yeah, but y'all didn't see the story on Deshaun, did you?
No.
Oh, okay. Here, let me enlighten y'all.
Oh.
He is being sued again for not only exposing himself to a young lady, but sexually assaulting a young lady.
Where? When?
That he met in Cleveland. He met her. They were talking. He asked to go out to a restaurant. She said she didn't want to be out in public with him. Invited him to her place for dinner. She goes into the bathroom, comes out. He's laying butt naked on the bed. Asked her to massage his buttocks. She she doesn't. She said she massaged his legs or whatever. He turns over. He has to continue to massage. She does not. Next thing, she's assaulted. She said the only reason she got out of it, she was able to, wrestle herself away and pick up some furniture item, causing him to leave.
Wow. That is not a good look.
So
that might have been on his mind too.
I believe so.
I think he had a little public enemy in him. I got so much on my mind. Refuse.
Lord, have mercy, bro.
How come where was that at, Coach?
I read it last night on.
You're not supposed to be involved in nothing sexual. Like your name is.
You're not supposed to go to any woman's home.
Yo, no, nigga, no.
You can't deal with any woman that you don't know. You can't put yourself in that position. You can't.
Absolutely.
You certainly can't be aggressive with nobody. I mean,
after everything that happened, as soon as your name come up associated with anything, it's just come on, you just proved them right, bro.
Yeah.
And this goes back. I'm sorry, I was wrong. This goes back to it's from 2020.
Oh, okay.
So it's just coming out, of course.
So that was still kind of part of the same time.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because he didn't get that contract in Cleveland in 2020, did he?
He got it in 22.
Yeah, 22, right? 21, 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was still in Houston.
Yep.
Oh, so I'm not saying the story's not true, but I'm a hope that that was all part of his rehab 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a hope that that's all part of his rehab. So
man, you're not supposed to be involved in nothing.
None of that.
None of that shit. You're supposed to be like,
and his lawyers were supposed to, whatever was out there, they were supposed to make sure it never comes up again.
Yeah, those aren't good lawyers. So you say Tony Montana say he's such a good lawyer that he'll have you working in Alaska, so dress warm.
Yeah, but what about his play though? I mean, he
play
looked
was god awful.
He looked like a shell of himself since Houston. I mean, he doesn't even look like the same player.
Nah, he doesn't.
Maybe it's because he's not getting massages.
Maybe.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's not even close though.
No, it's not. It's not.
Nah,
he don't look like the same guy.
Nah.
He not being his real self. So he's
you took away his dark area. You took away his dark side.
Yeah.
They found out about it. Like Tiger Woods, man. When people poke you on your dark side, you can't retreat to that no more. He's like, man, he walking past the foot spots like, damn, I can't even go in there no more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's what these guys. It's what
like damn, I can't go in there no more. Shit, somebody watching me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's sad, but yeah, Deshaun looks terrible. Like he was on course to be one of the best
top 3 quarterbacks that in Houston that 1 year. He was top 3 in the league.
Yep.
Period.
Easy. Yep.
Could make all the throws, could run. Man, please. I don't know what happened to that brother.
Wow.
Yeah, that's falling off the cliff.
We wish him the best and hope that these allegations are just that, allegations. But man, please get some help, because if your game is because of it, bro, get some help.
Yeah, please.
Get some help.
Yeah.
Get some help.
What y'all think about the Tyreek arrest situation?
Oh, that was disgusting.
It's a bad look, man. I think he's right outside the stadium. I think the thing that made it the worst was that 2 players stopped and they put cuffs on one of them. Also.
Campbell.
Yeah, that was the thing I thought was a little bit over the top. Because Tyreek Hill was messing around, too, with the window thing, but that don't warrant being pulled out the car and put face down on the concrete. I mean, yo, my man, y'all know where he going. He right in front of the stadium.
Right.
Like, give me a break.
Right. Now, you know what I find interesting about all this stuff now, when things like that happens, I want to see the cops investigate to see what they're betting on, see what, those type things now. Because to me, everything goes back to whether it's DraftKings or whatever you want to call it.
Man, I think it's their political affiliation. Ask about that.
Yeah. I would investigate all that. Like, what's their background? Are they betting on games? Are they supporters of certain parties or candidates?
That's certainly a good way to look at it, particularly the gambling aspect of it. This guy's at your opponent's fantasy team, so you lock him up.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
it's so much stuff now you got to look at, man.
You don't know, man. You don't know.
Yeah. No, you're right. But I'll tell you what.
Outside of a stadium, though, you arresting a player outside of the stadium is nuts.
It's nuts.
That is nuts.
Come on, man. Like, it is what it is. We see for what it is. You know where he's going.
Right.
No, come on, bro. Like you said, just give me the ticket. Let me go. Like, you know where I'm going, fam.
Yeah, but what about playing devil's advocate, the level of disrespect, though, yo?
What level
he was showing toward the cop. Did you see the whole thing?
Man, videos of
every cop is different, every situation is different, every whatever is different. So we can't just sit here and say we've seen someone talk to a cop.
They don't do that to white people, brother. They don't do it to white people. Let alone a dude who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars going to generate hundreds of millions of dollars for the city that pays your goddamn salary, bro. Like, nigga, are you serious?
I mean, look,
you can give me the ticket and we can keep it moving. Yeah. You can give me the ticket and let's keep it moving.
But I do think Tyreek was an asshole.
He was disrespectful to a cop, dude. I mean, y'all can say whatever you want.
Disrespectful to a police officer, you can't think like that. Don't think you have the right, since we on constitutional rights, right? You have the right to remain silent. I have nothing to say to you. I'm calling Drew Rosenhaus.
That's what he should have done. Yes.
That's what he was doing. He was on the fucking phone with Drew Rosenhaus going, and the cop, that pissed the cop off.
No, yeah. What pissed the cop off, Hawk, was him saying, "Why are you knocking on my window like that? What are you talking about?
Why are you knocking on my window like that? What are you doing?"
And you're going to justify that, Hawk?
I'm saying I see white men do it all the time, and that it's their right to do it.
No,
right?
It's not. And
no.
And it's the right for a police officer to yank that motherfucker out of his car too. You can't justify disrespecting no police officer.
They do it all the time.
I'm not talking about what other people do.
No.
White people.
No, two wrongs don't make a right.
No, it's not about making a right. It's about your constitutional right to have freedom of speech and to not say anything to police. That's your constitutional right.
But he did say something.
He did say something, and he was disrespectful.
Because you have the right to free speech,
and that's fine, huh? And he has the right to. He has the right to whatever comes afterwards.
And put in handcuffs. Obviously, he has the right to yank me out the fucking vehicle and put me in handcuffs.
Absolutely.
They do that to people who know the fucking law. They don't do it to people who know the law.
I think both parties were wrong.
Both parties were wrong.
Both parties were wrong. Definitely wrong.
Tyreek was wrong, without a doubt.
Understand, our government is founded on the premise that as a citizen, you have the right to free speech. As long as you're not threatening somebody, which he was not, you have the right to free speech. You also have the right to say nothing.
Yeah.
That's the most important right you have is to say nothing, which is
that right to say nothing is once you are detained and arrested. That's when that right comes into play.
That you got me stopped and I can't go. Where can I go? Nowhere. I'm detained.
But what's missing in this whole thing is what Cliff went back to the beginning.
Is what he said, dude.
Right.
He disrespected the police officer, dude.
Like, and forget the disrespect. Forget the disrespect.
No, there's no law. We're talking about laws.
Right. You can say whatever, but
the law. And if you don't exercise the law don't apply to you.
If a cop knocks on your window or asks you to roll the window down and you don't roll it down, or you roll it down and ask them what they're doing, then that's when you're supposed to comply. That's where the issue comes in first and foremost. You're supposed to comply. He didn't comply initially, and that's when it all went awry.
Video clips of people suing the police department for thousands and thousands of dollars for doing that shit he did to Tyreek Hill.
Now, that's wrong. We all admit what the cop did was wrong. But what's missing in this, Tyreek Hill did not comply initially. Going back to what Cliff said,
I got yanked out of my car for doing the exact same thing. I got yanked out of my car by Bloomfield police because
I get it. You have an emotional attachment. I get that.
No, it's not even an emotional attachment. It's that we abdicate our rights all the time by not exercising them. And the people who exercise them, they still have their rights. We don't.
I gotta agree with Hako on this one, fellas. I know what y'all saying. I get it, but there's been plenty of situations. There's been plenty of situations where I've seen white people get way nastier. Way nastier.
Oh, yeah.
And the cop will say, hey, we don't want to escalate this, ma'am or sir. We're just trying to make sure everything is okay here. You're going a little fast. They keep talking. But to yank him out the car, I don't think that, regardless of what Tyreek complied the right way. I agree with that. I get it.
Right.
But
he still wasn't deserving.
There's nothing that warranted him being dragged out.
Absolutely.
Onto the concrete.
Absolutely.
He called Jim Rosenhaus. I called my friend who's a judge. She's an attorney. I'm calling my attorney because you on some bullshit right now. I'm not talking to you. Nigga reached out the car and snatched me the fuck out.
Yep, there's zero for that. It wasn't an altercation.
I think we agree with that. I don't think there's no disagreement there. There's no disagreement there.
That's what happened.
The actions, I don't even know what the argument is about, because the actions of the cop were wrong. I think what I'm saying, and I think what Cliff is saying, is he did not comply.
Yeah, he didn't comply, but I thought you were saying that he didn't comply. That's why he got snatched up.
No, I'm not saying that's why he, regardless if he complied or not, he should not have gotten snatched up in that manner.
Oh my God, you know who this dude is.
The problem is that this thing is, I think for me, and I can't. I'm not. The problem I have with the conversation is that way too many times we, as in us, Black people, are having this conversation amongst each other, and we always using reason and like the right reason and saying we know what we should do, and we live in a country that has a president that has 34 convictions and he's walking the street. And so I'm tired of acting as if I should know what to do when there are people out here that are doing wrong every single day. And I'm not going to live wrong, but I'm also not going to act like, well, we should do this. No, we got a freaking man that is a criminal. And so we have to comply because of what? Like that's my thing.
I think the bigger conversation is it at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if we comply or not.
No, it doesn't.
Those same actions,
they don't get warranted the same way for everybody.
Right.
Period. That's the bottom line. And I don't condone us doing it because I said, I don't condone us being disrespectful because I know the results of that. The results of that
much
is
greater for
what
us.
happened, right? Yes. So, but it doesn't make it feel good it just the whole thing is where we always do it. It's not, this is nothing wrong with this conversation, but we always do it amongst each other. Like we always say, well, they should have known better. But there's a lot of Mickey Fickies who should have known better. And they and they get away with it. They get away with it.
I think everybody knows better. They just
Charles Oakley was crazy. You know that, right?
Yeah.
They only did that because they could.
Because they could. And then it's administrative leave. That's the other thing.
John McEnroe, them niggas ain't doing that shit to motherfucking. You name the other guy.
Listen, in 2007, spring training in Arizona baseball, they had a baseball pitcher who was pulled over by the police. Right? They let him go. He was drunk driving. They let him go, and a week later. They let him go because he was a white guy. A week later, he killed a mother and a family.
Yep.
Right? Because they didn't put him on blast like they need to put him on blast. And that's an issue. If they do everything across the board for everybody, the problem in this country is that white people feel like they're emboldened to act any way because there's no consequence. That's the bottom line. And then we see that, and now we having this conversation because Tyreek Hill sees the same shit we see. No consequence.
Yeah. Imagine if I wasn't Tyreek Hill. Imagine.
Yeah.
Exactly. But listen, let's talk about that for a second. Do you think any smart, like one of us on the panel that's not Tyreek Hill, would be talking to a cop like that?
I would tell you what I would have done, Cliff. Real talk. I wouldn't have said anything. I wouldn't have said anything.
My dude, that's the thing you understand.
I don't understand.
Constitution is written in a way.
Talking about that, huh?
You are talking about that.
Nobody follows the Constitution, huh? Nobody follows the Constitution.
The consequences of your actions
is that white people have rights that black people don't have. That's what the conversation is. That white people get to behave in a way.
Yeah, but we know that. We know that.
That's the point, that we should have the right to freedom of speech as long as you ain't threatening nobody, which he was not, and you should have the right to not say nothing. It shouldn't be, once you put your hands on somebody.
But we don't.
Hawk, you keep mentioning the right to say nothing, and you're absolutely right about that. But that's moot in this conversation because he did say something.
Right.
Yeah, you have the right to say
because you have the right to freedom of speech as long as you don't threaten somebody.
I realize that.
Did I say that, Wes? Did I say that? They're together. They're not one or the other.
Actually, they're not together. They're not together. They're not together because the right to remain silent is once you're arrested. The right to remain silent is part of your Miranda rights.
That's a part of your rights as a constitution.
No. The Miranda rights are once you are arrested.
Got you. Understood. But even if you're not arrested, you can say what you want to say and not say what you want to say.
You have freedom of speech.
So it has nothing to do with the Miranda rights. The Miranda rights is specifically for when you're being arrested. However, as an American citizen, I could say, yo, this is unfair. Nah, come here. Yo, what are you doing? I'm Tyreek Hill. I'm going to the game. Nah, come here. You can't.
Nobody's disagreeing with you.
And that's not what happened.
Disagreeing with you.
And that's not what happened.
Right.
He didn't say that.
With you.
I think how Tyreek Hill got caught up in what I was saying is kind of got caught up what he sees privileged people do. Right. And he's took it. I'm next to the stadium. Y'all gotta be kidding me. What y'all trying to do type thing. And he got sassy.
Yes.
And he got dealt with because he got sassy. I'm not saying that it was right.
Hawk,
he has the right to get sassy, Hawk. He has the right to get
thing that he can say whatever he wants to say. Is that what your whole thing is?
That thing happened like this. It didn't happen over the course of like 30. Like it didn't happen. It was like the cop pulled up. Yo, what are you doing? Why do you did it? Roll my window up. Come here. Like there's no.
Well, he was rolling his window up and down.
No.
Right. The cop said, "Why are you rolling your window up and down?"
That's not what happened. He was blatantly. See, what we forget, and we say it all the time, is that We see white people get away with it, all this other thing. But what we always forget is that another human is on the other side as that police officer. And what I saw is that Tyreek, within 30, 40 seconds, disrespectfully, I mean, blatantly disrespectful police officer on at least 4 different occasions. That's what I saw. And I felt the cop getting sick of it.
You just don't, getting sick of what in a 30-second period, brother? Like, I could think here. Like, he didn't do anything.
Yes, he did.
He
What are
did.
you talking about? He didn't. He first of all told someone of authority that, what are you doing knocking on my window like this?
I'm telling you, brother.
Watch how
this plays out. Watch how it plays out. That's why the officers are
going to play out. He gonna get the cop is gonna get fired.
Stupid. You're a fucking racist and you're stupid and you're doing stupid racist shit that you wouldn't do to a fucking white person. You wouldn't do it to a white person.
I don't know that. I don't know about that.
You didn't have to be Tyreek Hill. You have to play for the NFL.
So let me ask you this: the piece that lost me was the Calais Campbell piece. So what did Calais Campbell do?
Right.
What did Calais Campbell do that was disrespectful to the same officers?
Right.
He ended up in handcuffs.
That's what threw me. That's the part that I'm like, they racist because because
Calais Campbell didn't do a thing.
Tyreek Hill is one thing. Calais Campbell was coming to the defense of his teammate.
Right.
And he's in handcuffs.
Yep.
No backup, sir. Excuse me. This is none of that. Just no. Come here, you two.
And these are stadium police. They're stadium police.
And they yanked his and sit your ass on the ground.
Yeah.
They came in Rambo style off the rip.
The police.
No.
I believe the police will be fired. They should be fired.
No, I don't think they could be fired. They'll be desk duty, not do any more games. Great.
No, I think they will be fired in this situation.
I think the aggressive one is going to get fired. The one they put on leave is going to get fired. I don't think the other one. I think the other one's.
I think we'll be fired. And I think it's also it really is a lesson, I think, for larger society to see that this type of thing happens all the time.
Yeah, because people think it doesn't happen. They think it doesn't. And what I'm saying is the problem with it is that these younger people, and Tyreek Hill is a younger person, they out here visually seeing how other people get down, right?
Yeah.
And so we're different. We're from another generation. We saw how people got down as younger people, but we still was told, don't you act like that, right? These people, this generation is totally different.
I think Tyreek Hill acted with a level of arrogance that comes with being a man in Miami, and just not, just by, what he said, why you tapping on me? That's just a level of arrogance that you have when you're the superstar receiver in Miami. I get it. I get why he acted the way he acted.
There are white billionaires that aren't football players that are
do the same thing
in Miami.
Exactly.
And they're not getting yanked out their car.
Exactly.
There are white middle class men.
And they're white middle class men that are arrogant and not getting yanked out their car.
What I think what
class white men go fuck yourself, fuck your mother. I mean, I'm talking about. I'm not even exaggerating. Like this.
No, I agree, and I think what Tyreek Hill learned. I think he learned that your money, your celebrity, and all that don't matter because you still a young black man in America, and that's how you're gonna be treated.
Would it? I'm not black. I'm OJ. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Or still nigga.
Yep. And he didn't. I don't think he, thought that would be the case or should be the case, and it shouldn't. Yeah. But he learned in that moment. That's how it is. That's what it is.
Listen, the moral of the story, be respectful to people in authority, okay? That's what you do.
Or the consequences. Yeah, look, the consequences actually could have been much worse.
I think would have been.
Would have been if it wasn't Tyreek Hill. I think it would have been much worse if it wasn't Tyreek Hill.
He said that. Tyreek Hill said, just imagine if I wasn't Tyreek Hill, what they'd be doing to me.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, with the one summer, West going back and forth to New York.
Yep.
I got pulled over like 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
With you, TJ, he get pulled over, no ticket. They come in, search the car, ferry, strip search the car, damn near. No ticket, okay, be on your way. 8 times in one summer. Come on, man, they do that to everybody. Well, who's this? You know what? He thinks he's high. We gonna pull him over. You know who this is? About to go score these 5 touchdowns.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones should get pulled over and pulled out and beat up.
Man.
I wanted to share something. I know y'all didn't want to. I know I wasn't. I didn't want to. I had the opportunity last night, and I'm going to work on it. But I had the opportunity last night to hit golf balls with Clyde Drexler. I came to the drive. I went to the driving range last night by chance, and I put my bag next to. I saw him there, and I didn't know it was him. And it was him and another black guy, and that's one thing about golf. Like people, you out there at this time of night, you into the game. So he saw me swing, and he was like, "You got a nice swing, brother." And I was like, "That's the glide." I was like, "Oh snap!" Right? So next thing I know, we start. Within 5 minutes, he asked me for my phone number, invited me out to play golf with them next week.
Nice.
And he didn't have my name yet, but I gave him my name, and I said I was thinking about the show, and I said I'm gonna wait till I get on the golf course with him and try to get him to come on the show because I didn't want to sweat him. I didn't want to sweat him right off the bat, right? I was trying to keep it real calm, but we had some interesting topics, and I don't want to get into them. But I'm just saying they were very interesting, and it wasn't. The first part. I'm gonna give you some background. I picked Clyde Drexler as my 4th best 2 guard ever, right? So I had Jordan, Kobe, D Wade, and Clyde, right? So I listened to Clyde was talking, and the first thing he said about basketball, he was like, "Man, he said Dwayne Wade. He said, man, that's my guy. He said that's the one dude that people don't even understand what sacrifices he had to make in order for somebody else to be successful." Mm-hmm. And he was like, people blamed it on his knees. He was like, "There's nothing wrong with Dwayne Wade's knees. Dwayne Wade just wanted to win." Mm-hmm. So then I said, the other dude that was hitting balls with him, he was younger. He's like 35. He said, so God, he's like, we're gonna ask you. I ain't say nothing. I'm not asking anything, right? I'm just keeping quiet. So I said, I'm not gonna ask that question. What I want to know is how you felt about the Olympics. He said, well, first of all, the only reason that the real point guard wasn't on that team is because Krzyzewski left, because that's supposed to be Kyrie's spot. That's the first thing he said. But politics took place. He said, so they had Steph. He said, you notice how Steph wasn't on the team when Krzyzewski was there, right? He said, and then he says, but that's how it is. He's like, his guy, Steve Kerr is his guy. Krzyzewski was Kyrie's guy. He said, this is what made music to my ears. He said, the only reason those games were so close was because the man that was making all the shots was also the man that couldn't play no defense. And so I was like, then I said, well, what about y'all, man? They said they could beat y'all. He said, so they got Joker and a six man from Atlanta, and we got 10 dogs that are established, and they could beat us. Okay. I'm just saying, it just makes sense to me. And then the conversation was, he was like, well, and the other thing is like, my man is a brilliant dude. Ain't nobody ever gonna play 21 years like that. He's like, we ain't never seen nothing like that. He said, but at the end of the day, there's only one, and then there's everybody else. And he's like, and unfortunately, I had to deal with that too. And he said that I played against the best player ever to play the game. That's what he said. I played against the best player to ever play the game. I was like, I can't even say nothing. I didn't want to say my friends or this. I just said, this man right here was a dream teamer, a freaking top 5 2 guard that everybody said Jordan played against no 2 guards. And he had no malice in his heart. He was talking he said that
freely, just speaking.
He was just talking. He was like, whoever was like in the NBA, he was like the fouls. He was like whoever they wanted to win would win that night. Period. He's like, I don't go to the hole.
He said, what happened?
He said whoever the NBA wanted to win that night would win. He said there's games that I would play and I would go to the hole and nobody would touch me and I'm at the free throw line and I would say, oh, I'm getting those tonight. I could see. I said, I guess we got a W tonight. He's like, so he said in his worst now, he's like, but he said the key factor is when we wanted to stop people in our day, we did. He said when we wanted to play defense and we wanted to stop people, it went down. That was how it went. He's like, it's just not like that now. He's like, but I love these guys. I like the load management. I love Kawhi Leonard because he's like, who wouldn't want to make $60 million and not play?
Yep.
He's like, I ain't mad at him.
He said he loves load management.
He was like, listen, I would have load managed if I could.
Yep.
He said the best player he played with was Walter Berry.
Yes.
He said one of the most talented dudes he ever picked up the basketball in his presence was Walter Berry.
Yep. Bad knees though.
I was like, he just said bad knees, but bad situation. He said he shouldn't have really been in Portland. It wasn't for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't the place for him. But like I said, man, he had his cigar in his mouth. He was hitting balls. He was giving us, me and the other dudes, some tips and asking, just talking regular stuff. But he was just saying, like, he enjoyed his years in the NBA, and a lot of good opportunity came for him. But he was just laughing at the Olympics. That was his biggest thing, was the Olympics. And he said
what resonates with me is the part you said. There's one, and then there's everybody else.
Yeah, but what he said also was, he said it's funny to me how he said the propaganda grew. He said when all the dogs got out the league. He said when Duncan, Kobe, Garnett, AI. He said all those guys were like really dogs. But he said, he said, I think LeBron might have been better than most of those dudes. He said, but he wasn't better than most of those dudes. Like he said, do you understand that? I was like, oh, I get that.
Yeah.
He wasn't better than those dudes.
Basketball talk.
Those dudes weren't better than him, but he wasn't better than those dudes. That's what he said.
All right, so what does he mean? Like they weren't better?
Okay, listen to this, Hawk. Derek Jeter is not better than Alex Rodriguez, but Alex Rodriguez ain't really better than Derek Jeter. That's the thing. Like, we know who the most gifted player is. A-Rod. Like, I have no problem with knowing who it is, but was he really better than Derek Jeter? That's the thing. Like, can you really say that with a straight face? Like, oh, hands down. Nah, it's just not that easy to say. Now, you can't easily say that he was or he wasn't, but it is a question. That's what I'm trying to say. Whether you say yes or no, there's still a question. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yep.
No disrespect. That's how he kept it.
Just the analogy that you use with A-Rod and Jeter. I think it's a great analogy, right?
Yep.
Right. So it's like, in terms of consistently being a high level player, as opposed to when the lights is the brightest, it's time to step up. Who's going to be the best player in the moment?
That's what it was. That would be Derek Jeter.
But in terms of
consistent across the board, A-Rod put up 700 home runs.
Yeah. Right.
700 home runs, 1,500 RBIs. He got all the stats, but he didn't have as many championships, right? Yep. So it's just a matter of what you want to judge on what it is.
It's also, I don't know if it's an unfair comparison, but baseball players on teams, like the team has to be, the one player ain't doing nothing. Like this baseball, that's not gonna happen. And those Yankee teams that Derek Jeter happened to be on were good straight through.
Like, but we're talking about team sports, so I don't know if that, will negate.
But you can also make that.
As good as he is, there's no one player gonna put that much of an impact.
Yeah, but you can get them. You can still make that comparison because their careers were.
I agree.
Were parallel. I mean, those Seattle teams were comparable to those Yankee teams. I mean, the Texas teams were comparable to the Yankee team. I mean, obviously the Yankees dominated that one particular time, but their careers were kind of.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah, it was just interesting. Like I didn't throw no flame on it. I just really wanted to sit there and just listen to it. And I was gonna text y'all all day today and tell you, I was like, you know what, I ain't gonna say nothing because it's gonna sound like crazy or too excited. So I just left it alone, right? But it was just so funny because when he put up the Olympics, that's exactly how I felt. Listen, like I know what you guys are saying about the time and the players are more skilled. I don't disagree with it, but the fact is, come on, man. If you watch the game itself, those games were close because our guys weren't playing defense.
They don't play defense.
That's all it really
Our
was.
guys-
They
our
weren't close
guys-
because of the skill set of the other teams.
Yep.
Our guys don't play defense.
And our
they
guys
don't
aren't
care.
dogs. They're not dogs. You know, Anthony Edwards might be the only dog that was on that team.
And then when he broke it down again, like I said, he was like, yo, we got 10 certified dogs. He said, not just certified, he said accomplished dogs on our squad.
Yep.
And you tell me they struggling with Jokic and a 6-man on the Atlanta Hawks.
Yep.
Come on, man. It's not even like, I mean, those 10 dudes, all of those dudes are Hall of Famers.
Yep. Dog.
All 10. So it's like, come on, but they'll never play it. That's the other thing. He did mention that. He's like, that's all for us to talk about because barbershop, because we'll never actually play. But it just said, he's like, yo, just look at the rosters and you tell me if Serbia had a better roster than us.
Yeah. And it would be interesting. I wonder if AI could do a simulation of it. I'm sure it can be done. It would be interesting to see how that would come out. But gentlemen, I actually have to drop. I have to go to a party.
I mean,
hey, the debate on tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick about the debate, since that is a sport in of itself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But hey, Wes, I really thank you for that story. There's one, and then there's the rest of them.
Well, yes, and I will. If I get to play golf with these fellas, make sure I get a photo. But I'm in Clyde's Rolodex, and I should be on the course for the next week. I will definitely. That is on the top of my list. I just didn't want to do it yesterday. I was like,
it's all good.
But yeah, I think he would do it too.
Yeah, during the basketball season, actually be the real.
Yeah. You know, the tip off basketball season. Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be
but now, you said he played against the one who's won. He
said he played with and against the best one. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And he said he played them in more than one sport. They shared the links together too.
Okay.
He's been playing golf for 40 years.
We're clear. We all clear who that is before I go.
That's at that time. They say something different. I mean, that's
what I'm saying. I just took it as that's his guy because he played with him.
That says something, but when you hear other players say something different, it means something too.
I don't disagree with that.
And I don't disagree with the analogy that was used. I can see that. I definitely can see that. Yeah. But anyway,
that analogy wasn't in comparison to that one he played against. It was about those other dogs who had left the league at the time.
No, we're talking about. See, we drifted off trying to segue into something else. But when we talk about 21 years of something,
that's great. He's the best. He is by far.
Gave him his flowers. He gave him all his flowers.
Yeah. I'm not saying he didn't, Wes. I'm talking about Kobe right now.
No. He by far is the best player who has played 21 years.
Okay.
He by far, without a doubt.
Kareem? That's questionable.
Kareem didn't play 21. Kareem played 20.
Yeah, 20? Kareem played 20. Yeah.
So, you know, he got that. He got that hands down. He is going to be the statistical leader of all time in every category you can think of, good, bad, and different.
Yeah, he's
going to be the Emmitt Smith of rushing, and he's going to be the Pete Rose of hits.
Yep.
But I don't think anybody ever said that those two dudes was the best to ever do it.
Yes.
but that's what he's going to do. Statistically, he's going to have a 50,000 points.
There's a lot of people who will say differently.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
I got you. I respect it.
And he'll be the only guy, and it's like he's still putting up fucking numbers.
Hey, and he can continue doing such It's
Yeah.
never going to change it.
I mean, but that's it right there. No matter what happens, it's never going to change what's in your mind. That's fine. I mean, I used to be the biggest Michael Jordan fan.
Hey.
Yeah, I used to be the biggest, and then I grew up.
And I don't even think MJ's the GOAT. That's the funny thing about it.
All right, okay.
All right. Peace, y'all.
All right, y'all. Have a good one, fellas.
Later, y'all.
Wasted my time. I was trying to steer the conversation the other direction, but they both hopped off. See?
They sensed it coming. They smelled the rat, yo.
I was trying to, before we get out of here, I set it up in the whole 9 yards, but then, well, Clyde Drexler said so and so and so and so. All right, that's Clyde Drexler's opinion. My man.
Mm-hmm.
Madness for sports, y'all. Peace.
Peace.